All right, we right back at it, gang. Overlooking our newly minted little city center area, little bus station. I'm having some seepage problems with our canal walkway. Y'all can see I got my vacuum trucks out from the natural disasters DLC trying to soak some of this stuff up, but we need to work on that a little bit later on. Right now, we need to fill in this area between our industrial area and our homes. We'll put a little neighborhood right here. Maybe a fire station right here behind this parking garage. I do want to use some of the Brooklyn Queens to make a nice sleepy block. And I'm going to use a commercial asset back here. I got something in mind. I want to see if it fits. So let's settle in. We're going to draw out just a small street. I really want to make this neighborhood kind of feel enclosed. Like it's a dead end. You come down this block, you better know somebody. Like your auntie better stay down here, your grandma, somebody. You know, don't be just down here. I'm laying out some of these row houses from the asset creator Smileys, which is one of my favorite asset creators. I am going to be making a top 5 asset creators video on my TikTok. If you're not already following me on my TikTok, like if you don't have TikTok, just start one and follow me, bro. You know what I'm saying? I'm lit like that. I be doing stuff on TikTok that I don't even do on here. Laying down our little 3-bay firehouse, painting some of this out, and we're gonna definitely detail all this up. But we didn't lay down any services last episode. Let's go ahead and put down police station right here on the backside of that Sanford Hotel. And I'm gonna line the backside of these houses with just some trees and some bushes and stuff. If you're ever having noise problems from your commercial assets, your people are complaining about the noise, put some trees down, man. Put a street down with some trees. You know what I'm saying? All that buffer kind of helps keep that noise down. People won't complain. And you know, since it's on the edge of this little industrial area anyway, I kind of want to keep the back blocks raggedy. We're gonna use one of these abandoned van assets, and I'm gonna go in with PO, and I'm actually tilted so it's kind of like parked up on this hill. Somebody just backed it up and they probably ripped all the stuff out. I know how they do. It's just back there. Again, the city needs to come out and handle stuff like this. We're just now getting our money situation kind of under control. You know, and we will build some fancier areas. Speaking of fancier, we didn't build any high schools. So we got like a whole bunch of people that went to 5th grade and they didn't go no further. So we're gonna lay down some of these school assets in a nice little block. I found the stuff that I wanted on the workshop, but this football field is actually from the sports venues DLC. If you're on the fence about buying that and you do make a lot of parks, yo, get the sports venues DLC. They have some, they really let the asset creators off the chain in these last few DLC package and expansions they done dropped. And they really let them lean in with the textures. Everything just looks so amazing. I'm gonna lay out a quick campus. Anybody coming from the Viridian series can tell you how much I love building campuses. I won't never like stick a school on a street next to like a Cinnabon or something like that. I want it to feel like you're driving into a area of academia. You coming up in here to get your education. Don't come up in here playing. Like they probably got one of them Joe Clark principles that don't play no games.
They used to call me Crazy Joe, but now they can call me Batman.
Right now I'm using some of the vanilla assets to kind of detail up the backside of the elementary school. It doesn't come with any like little play areas for the kids, so we got a little couple seesaws ain't never hurt nobody. I'm also going to throw a little bit of detailing on the front of the high school. And yeah, man, I mean, it's better than it was. I think it's looking pretty nice. So yeah, that's the end of the episode. I appreciate y'all checking it out. No, I'm just playing, yo. That layout was actually trash. Now that I look at it, we can do way better. Let's start over. The first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my elementary school and I'm gonna sink that down a little bit. Now, when I was a young lad out here in these streets, the elementary school that I went to had a kindergarten. It was kind of down a hill, and I kind of want to emulate that same campus, but it was a little different area. I'm also gonna run our bus line right past the school, so we know we can give our kids a real fighting chance at a good education.
Y'all motherfuckers need to gangbang them butts.
And I'm gonna run some paths to make sure everything is connected up, to make sure nobody's doing nothing weird. Everybody's just getting out the bus cool. All right, so let's line this up with some parking lot roads. It's gonna take me a while to get the layout. You'll see me kind of renege and redo for a while, but once I get it, I lean in, don't worry. And I'm also gonna put a little bookstore on this campus to really kind of make the area feel maybe like it's a private school or a Christian school or something like that. I mean, the school definitely got money if they got a whole bookstore on the campus, you know what I'm saying? While I'm doing this, I'm gonna kind of work on our road network and make sure I'm leaving room for things to connect where they need to, making sure it feeds into the rest of what we already have pretty clean. I'm also gonna take a moment before we do any of the hardcore details to line everything up with some nice white retaining walls and some clean asphalt surfaces. Like I said, this is a, you know, a fancy private school or something, man, they wouldn't be all worn out like that, man. They'd probably be maintaining this pretty good, like this pedestrian path that we gonna switch over. A little bit more asphalt down here. I'm gonna connect up the rest of this network, and looking at this little area, I thought this would be a dope part for a park. I might not detail it on this episode, but we are gonna do some details. Wanna see it? Here you go. Like, it's so much better than it would have been if I would have stuck with that trash robot layout, man. This is why sometimes you just got to build stuff over, man. Tear it down, do it again. I want to bring y'all another chapter of the Rivergate saga, man. Let's check in on my boy Johnny Frank.
John Francis was a man of intrigue. Despite being the male heir, many were surprised when his sister assumed control of their late father's business interests. John Francis had always been drawn to the company of misfits, scoundrels, and the local riffraff even as a child. This predilection persisted as he ventured northward after his father's passing. He frequented seedy establishments, finding camaraderie in the most unlikely places. Few knew of his affluent background, and it was not hard to understand why. A biracial man hailing from the deep south, inheriting millions from his white father, was an extraordinary tale. John Francis deemed it prudent to conceal his true lineage. However, every now and then, he would succumb to the allure of opulence and relish the privileges that the free North had to offer. He even became a member of the notorious Dead Rabbits, a prominent gang at the time. It was within one of these dens of vice that he encountered William, the wealthy son of an industrialist, who would become his dear friend. They spent countless nights reveling in debauchery, drinking, and carousing through the labyrinthine alleys and back streets of New York. Although William spoke little of his family, he often tantalized John Francis with the prospect of secret investment opportunities. Despite harboring no inclination for honest work, John Francis eventually entrusted William with several $1 million after a wild weekend in Philadelphia. Around that time, as the war loomed and men were drafted into military service, John Francis found himself plagued by the fear of being conscripted into a war he had deliberately escaped. Without a word, he hastily departed New York on a steamship bound for the Canadian coast, praying that the specter of war would not pursue him northward. Join us on the next enthralling chapter of Hidden Legacy, the saga of Rivergate.
Now, I know y'all thinking my boy Johnny Francis don't look exactly the same. He ain't exactly as high yellow, I know. But we working with some way better AI right now. And I mean, did you see that jawline? That's a strong jawline. It's strong. It's strong with a C. We ain't playing. I'm going to lay down this Gibson's Guitar Factory. I think it's an industrial asset, but I'm going to Rico it into something commercial. It's right here behind our Brooklyns and Queens assets that we laid down. Exclusive for TikTok. Y'all need to tap in. And I'm going to make it something nice, man. Maybe it's a nice, like, live event space. Now, maybe they do more than just, you know, sell the guitars and make the guitars. You know, you might look up, it might be some stars in there, man. It's Dave Grohl and them in there. Luke Combs them in there, man. They getting money in Rivergate. Let's detail. right, y'all. We definitely did some good work today. Definitely did some nice additions to what's going on. Y'all go ahead and comment, hit that like. If you haven't subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. Y'all see I'm fighting against the algorithm because I feel like we can all agree. Now, I'm at least top 10 it overall of everybody doing this. Like, I don't. That's not even up for debate.
He ain't lying.
But the algorithm don't like me, man. So y'all got to help me fight, man. Tell somebody to tell somebody. This Kool-Aid. Run them cities.